Hey, this video that I'm making is about homemade fishing floaters. Like when you're out fishing and you lose your last stick floater and you ain't got no floater and the bluegill's biting and the crappies is biting and you ain't got no floaters, man. Your last floater's hung up on a rock or floating down the river. Right here's what I do sometimes. See them weeds right there? Alright, I'm not sure exactly. It's some kind of flower that grows on the river and it's dying out. Alright, like these stalks. See all the stems like this right here? That stuff right there is almost like cork. It's dried out, it's been on the river. Here's a good piece right here. This piece right here, see? And it's got a small hole in it too. See, you can reach down here and break it. See how it's got a hole in it? It's real brittle like a cork floater. And what a person can do, it's real lightweight. What a person can do, you can break it at another point, like I'll break it here at another point, make it shorter, about like a catfish floater. See, this is a big piece, you know, big around, about like a big catfish floater that you buy. It's red and white. And see, it's already got a hole in it all the way through, you know, that you can put your run your fishing line through it. I got some at home that I've already made, and what you can do if you want to, you can break a bunch of them off on the riverbank, you know. Here's some more. See how big they are at the root? And they already got holes in them like a catfish floater or like smaller ones. Bluegill floaters, you could break some smaller ones off. You know, here's a small one right here. See, there's a hole in it. You could break it right here again. See, you got a hole right there in that end and a hole in that end, and it's big enough to slide your bait through. I mean, not your bait, but your fishing line. And it'd be like a little bluegill floater, you know. See, watch this. I drop one in the water right here. Watch. See. See how it floats? Floated right over that rock. This big one right here, watch this. I drop it in the water. See how it floats? If it had a line run through it, like them catfish floaters that you can buy, it'd be standing up like that, you know. They're standing up like that, you know. They work just as good as a store-bought floater, man, and they got a hole already through it, you know. It's a natural hole from where the plant was living before the stalks died out. There's a hole in it. I got some at home that I've already made, and I tell you what you can do. You can take these home with you or something, get you a bunch of them, and buy you some fluorescent paint like I did. I got some orange paint and painted a bunch of them. And when I leave from here, from the river, and I get back home, I'll show everybody what they look like if you paint them orange, or if you want to, you could paint them yellow or whatever. These will float just like a floater. You know, I'll pitch this one out there in the swift water. See, they float just like a floater. And when you put them on a fishing line, and if you paint them fluorescent color like orange or red or green or yellow, they work just as good as a catfish floater or a bluegill floater. All right, I'm at home now. This is some some of the small dried out branches from the flower bushes that grow on the edge of the riverbank that I brought home with me. You know, some of them pretty good size, like this one right here. You know, I can use it for catfish floater if I want to. It's got a hole from that end to that end. Your fishing line will go right through them holes like that. The holes are natural. You don't have to drill them in there. You know, I use orange red paint, orangish color paint, kind of bright color. You could use whatever color you wanted. Neon color, you use neon green, yellow. I figured I'd use orange. I got some right here that I keep in my bait tackle, you know, few different sizes, nothing big. I don't catfish a lot with floaters. I usually fish on the bottom when I catfish. See, and there's a small one right there. Some of them small. You know, use different size ones. You know, don't cost nothing. Cost you more for the paint, can of spray paint. You know, the little dried up branches don't cost nothing. You know, and you can get them outside the riverbank. See, they got a natural hole in them that you can run your line through. You can break it, and see, there's the hole goes up through the stalk. You know, you can break it again, make it a short one. So you can use this one as like a little bluegill bobber or something like that. You know, it's a cheap, poor man's way of making a fishing floater. If you ain't got the money to, you know, spend a lot of money on fishing floaters or something, or if you're sitting around on the riverbank, you lose all your floaters, you know, getting snagged up, or you know, and you ain't got no floaters. You can look around, you can find some of these tree branches, you know, break them off, you know, they just like a floater. That's about almost like cork, but it's not. And they got a hole running, you know, most of them got a hole running from the bottom to the top, you know. Put your fishing line right through there. One that I already got on my line right here, I just put on my line. All right, here's all you got. It works. They work just like a regular floater, a slip floater. You know, all you got to do is right here, you know, all right. Keep it from sliding up down on the line. Works just like any other floater. You know, break your little stick up or off of a tree limb, or pick your stick up off the ground. You know, kind of take your knife and sharpen it a little bit. Just stick it down in that hole, you know, press it down in there, you know, and then slide your line through it, you know, kind of set it, you know, if you want to fish for bluegill, you know, there you have it, you know. There's your hook down there and your slip shots, you know. If you want to set it at a different angle, all you got to do is just slide it up and down the line, and you know, if you want to make sure it's real good and tight, just take your finger and push that stick down in there real hard, like, you know, and that's where to stay. It'll stay at that height, you know.